Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at comparison operators. We'll take a look at all the different comparison operators that we have available to us. These are just little pieces that will kind of belong to another statement later when we get into making selections inside of the Java program. So this is kind of more of an informational thing just so that you know, and in our next video we'll talk more about selections and how they're used. And right now these are like just a little building block of a selector that kind of needs to be known first. So the comparison operators that we do have are kind of the same thing as in math class you were working with. If you ever seen those, it would have been, here I'll just make a block comment quotes here just so that we can kind of go through them without making the program all weird. So the first one, you remember in school there was the less than sign. And this here is fairly simple. It's the less than sign. And now when you're working with it, you're going to have to, it's going to the computer program is going to check a number or check a value against another value to see if it's, less than the first value. So say over here, if we had really quickly, I'll just make a couple values here. We'll go int number 1. We'll make that equal to just 10, and then we'll go int number 2, and we'll make that equal to 20, just for demonstration purposes. So when we come down here, if you look in our example, we're looking at less than. So if we were to take number 1 and put it down here, you say control C is number 1, and you're saying, is it less than number 2? And we can put that here, and these are our example, these would be the examples. This would be your sign or your operator. I'll kind of just make a little table here so you can, there's your operator. Here's your the name of the operator, just so that you know. This would be kind of an example format of it, and this would be the result that would come out in when we're using it. Okay, so in the program we'll look at this now, and it'll say is number 1, and it always works from the left to the right. So you'll look and say, is number 1 less than number 2? And if we look up here, number 1 is equal to 10. It's 10 up here. So is it less than number 2? And 10 is not, or 10, sorry, is, less than 20. So in this form, it would actually turn out to be true. So now if these numbers were, flipped around and you had number 2 right here, and you had number 1 here, now it would say, if you were to move it over this way, and you were to say, is number 2 less than number 1? Well, 20 is not less than number 1, right? So then in this example here, it would be false. So I'll just write this one. I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it down to the next line, just so that I'll put this back the way it was, number 1, this one back to number 2, and in this case it was true. In this case it was actually false now. Okay, so that's how it will kind of look at the operator and decipher whether or not one or the other, it lets you know based on an input of true or false, or sorry, an output of true or false, whether or not this was this condition was actually true if it was the case, or if it was false if it actually wasn't the case. Okay, so number 1 is less than number 2. Number 1 is equal to 10 up here. So in essence we're just basically saying this as well. So I mean, is 20 less than 10? Yes, so true. So if you kind of look at it that way, then if you get a yes, it's kind of like a true. If you get a no, it's kind of like a false. So just kind of for yourself, to if you're looking at the logic and you're trying to run through logic, it's just so you can look at it kind of that way. when piecing stuff together. And once you get, you know, a little bit more familiar with these, then it'll become more, you know, more apparent to you. Now the next one we have is the less than and equal to, or less than or equal to. And these can't have spaces here. This has to be tight like this together. And when we look at this, this would be, you know, less than or equal to. So we can say or equal, you know, equal to. So now we're getting a little bit more, you know, just move these over because we got, you know, some bigger inputs there. So there we got the less than or equal to. So now in this form, you know, in this fact, so I'm gonna just put the numbers down here now so that you kind of know what's going on. You see what's happening. We don't need these, you know, integer values just to, we just said this one was 10, this one was 20, this one was 20 at this time, and this one was 10, right? So just to make it a little easier, because I'm going to change values rather regularly, so it'll just make it a little bit easier to function here. All right, so we'll go here, move this back, a little bit of formatting. I kind of messed up with building this, so now if you were to take, you know, 10, is it less than or equal to 20? Well, in this form, 10 would be less than, so it would return a true fact. It would still be at this point true. Now we can look at this and resolve this as well. We'll put another one down here. And so again, we still have the same thing. So now if we had 20 here, it would now also be true, because is 20 less than 20? Well, it's not less than, but it is equal to 20. So now we also have a true. So that's kind of the way, you know, this actually goes to work when it comes down to it. Like, there's kind of two true outputs that could be taken. And it's kind of important to know this, that, you know, when, you know, you get to here, because you say 20, if you were to bring this up here, and I just, you know, take this one, I'll just copy this and we'll bring it over. I'll just do one more example just so you kind of get an idea. Now, if this here was, you know, if this was actually 10, this would still be false because there's no equal to. So 10, is 10 less than 10? Well, no, it's not less than 10. It's actually equal to 10, so it will be false. And now that's kind of important to know. In later videos, I'll kind of go through and explain and show you why that is important to know, and important down here to know. So again, we can come down here. We'll just put in another one. So now, you know, you have the less than equal to, and if you went to go, you know, if this was now 20 and this one was 10 at this point, right? It's a new statement here. So we have, is 10 less than or equal to, is 20, sorry, less than or equal to 10? No, so this would actually be false now. Okay, so it's not less than, it is not even equal to, so now it is false in that form. So these two are kind of, this is very important to be aware of, that you have this available. Make sure you're writing it properly. We'll move down and we'll go on to our next one, and you might kind of see what's going on here. So now we have the greater than, and we'll just move in. This one's greater than. And this kind of goes the same way. We'll just keep the flow of it, you know, the same as we got up on the top there, just so it kind of works together. Now, if we were to, you know, check this over, is 10 greater than 20? No. So again, we said no. We'll have to say that that is false then. And that's the result that will come out of our comparison. When we're trying to compare these two numbers together, it actually sends out this type of result. Now, this will come more clear once we move, you know, further into this. Again, we got the greater than, just trying to give you examples of each so that you're kind of not left in the, you know, dark of all this. So there's the 20 and the 10. So now is 20 greater than 10? And this would actually be yes, true, right? Because it is, in fact, a true statement. So 20 is greater than 10? Yes, that is true. So now, again, we have the exact same kind of format we have up here. And we can just kind of, I'm just going to copy this and kind of change some values as we go. And now we'll just go, greater than really quickly, make these greater than, make this say greater than, let's say greater than, and this one's greater than, okay. And our little bit of formatting is kind of messing up here. Big values, so just kind of reformat this a little bit better. Okay, so now, oh, I kind of tabbed everything over here. What's going on? Okay, so I'm going to erase these guys because we're not going to deal with this yet. And these signs are greater. Okay, so I just formatted it so it works instead of having to type everything out all over again. Okay, so now we got the greater than or equal to. It's kind of the same workflow as we have up here. So we come here now, is 10 greater than or equal to 20? No, 10 is definitely not greater than, and it does not equal up to 20. So this then would be a false statement. It's a no. So again, if we just kind of go and move through these, you're going to see a little bit of a like a pattern coming out of all this, but that's good if you do. I hope that it kind of makes sense to you and it's easy for you to understand this. It's kind of a very basic concept, but I just kind of want to make sure you got a good handle of it. So now we come down and we say, we got 20 and 20. So now is 20 greater than or equal to 20? So 20 is definitely not greater than 20, but it definitely is equal to 20. So that is a yes there, and we'll say that is true now. So, and we'll come down, is 20 greater than or equal to 10? It's not equal to, but yes, it is greater than. So we have now another true statement. And now the same thing would go, up here. This is the kind of the same following logic that we had from, our top one, and I'll just put that there. And if this was 10, how this one, we went with this value here. So now is 10 greater than 10? Well, no, it's not greater than 10. It actually equals 10, so it's still no, and we'll say false here. All right, so you kind of see that there's a little bit of a pattern going on, and you can kind of get what's happening. And this will make way more sense once we start working in the selectors and we actually start using these in certain statements. But for now, this is what we need to do. So next one we have available is the equals, equal to. So this one is just equal to. And in this form, we'll do this again. We'll go 10. And we have to do the double equals. If a single equal just means you're kind of assigning a value to another value, that won't work. This is the binary section of the equal to, and if you put them both together, then we get this comparison operator, equal to. We'll say, is 10 equal, double equal 20. I'm just going to quickly go through all the little things here. We'll just print them out real fast. We have 20 and 20, and then we put 20 on this side and 10 on this side, right? Just kind of keep it flowing the same as we got up here in our examples. So now, if we look at this statement, is 10 equal to? So it doesn't even mean is it greater, is it less, and none of that even matters at this point. It has to be absolutely equal to this value. Is 10 equal to 20? Definitely not. So we can say that this is a false statement. And now we get down to here, this one here is 20 absolutely equal to 20. Well, yes, it absolutely is. 20 does equal 20 no matter what. And now this would actually be a true statement. This would turn, it would, once compared, it would result in a true. And now we come down to the equal again. We got, is 20 equal to 10? And has to be absolutely equal to. There's no sign for greater than or less than here. And is it absolutely equal to? Absolutely not. So this is a false statement once again. All right, so hopefully you kind of see what's going on. It makes a lot of sense to you. And now we can come down and we have one last kind of comparison operator to work with. And this is the not equal to. And this little symbol here, when you're working in the comparisons and different operators of like, yeah, we'll just say comparison operator values for now. This will be the not sign, and this is the equal. So this one is actually meaning not equal to. And again, you probably kind of see what's, you know, going on with this, but I just want to make sure it's all clear. I'll just copy this 3 more times, bring it down here. Perfect. Okay, so we'll just kind of change our values up to match the ones up top in our examples. So we come through, and now do we say 10 is not equal to 20? So definitely 10 is definitely not equal 20. So in this statement here, you know, that would actually be true because 10 does not equal 20. So yes, this would be a true statement. Then 10 definitely does not equal 20. All right. Oh, spelling all weird. Okay, so now we can keep coming down. We got 20. Now, is 20 not equal to 20? Well, no, this actually works because 20 is equal to 20. So it's a false, or is 20 not equal 20? It's a false statement because 20 definitely equals 20. So we'll type false here. And then we come down here. Oh, this is supposed to be a 20 here too. There we go. So now, again, it's kind of, you know, just the inverse of this up here. And if you notice, that's essentially what we've been doing. But now we come over and we say, you know, is 20 not equal to 10? Well, definitely not. 20 does not equal 10 at all. So this would actually be a true statement. This is kind of where, you know, this is a little bit different than looking at these ones, but, you know, it's still in concept of, does this, when it compares to each other, you know, 10, does 10 not equal 20? Yes, 10 does not equal 20, so it's true. In this form, does 20 not equal 20? No, 20 equals 20, so it's definitely false. And in this form, you know, is 20 not equal to 10? Yes, absolutely, it does not equal 10. So these are the different comparison operators we have available to us. This is kind of what you're going to look at. These are going to be your outputs. You don't really need to, you know every single output. You kind of just understand the way that it's comparing the numbers, you know, always from the left to the right. Okay, so the one on the left gets compared to the one on the right, and that's based upon your comparison operator put into the center of it here. So that's pretty well everything about the comparison operators at this time. We'll get into how to use them now in our next little bit of videos here. I'll leave this in for when we, you know, go and make our program or make our little example application for you. But that's it for this video. I do appreciate you watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. And if you have any comments, questions, or ideas for future videos, then please put them in the comment section below, and you know, we'll try to address those for you. But thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.